I didn't know the flight would change my life until the moment she looked at me like I was a mistake someone forgot to erase. 3 seconds. That's all it took. She hadn't heard my voice, hadn't asked my name, hadn't seen my boarding pass. Just one glance at my hoodie, my sneakers, my skin, and she decided I didn't belong there. Yeah. That was the moment everything started. I was 20 years old, flying home for a short break, exhausted, half asleep, just wanting to disappear into my headphones and let the hours pass. The jet itself was ridiculous. Soft leather, quiet hum, the kind of space where even silence feels expensive. I'd been on flights like this before, but I never got used to the looks. Some people wear confidence like clothing. Others wear entitlement. She wore both. She came in loud. That's the first thing I remember. The sharp click of heels and the voice already mid-complaint snapping into the cabin before she even stepped fully inside. She smelled like expensive perfume and impatience. The kind of person who talks to assistants like furniture and expects the world to rearrange itself on command. She stopped talking the second she saw me. Her eyes scanned the cabin, paused, then locked onto me. Slowly, deliberately, like she was inspecting a stain on a white couch. Her lips pressed together. Not confusion, not curiosity. Disgust. I felt it hit me in the chest before she even said a word. She leaned toward the guy behind her, younger, nervous, clutching a laptop like a shield, and whispered something that absolutely did not need to be whispered. "Is this a joke?" she said. "This is supposed to be an executive flight." She laughed under her breath, shook her head, and added, "Standards really have fallen, huh?" I kept my eyes down. That wasn't weakness, that was experience. You learn early which battles drain you and which ones destroy you. I opened my notebook, pretended to write even though my hand had started to shake just a little. Boarding finished. The door closed. We were trapped together for hours. At first it was passive. Loud sighs. Side comments. The occasional pointed glance in my direction like she wanted me to notice her not noticing me. Then it escalated. She pressed the call button and complained to the flight attendant about distractions, about needing focus, about how some passengers clearly weren't here for business. I still remember the flight attendant's face. Professional. Calm. But I could see it. The recognition. She knew exactly what this was. She asked politely if there was a problem. The woman gestured toward me like she was brushing crumbs off a table. "She shouldn't be back here," she said. "I don't know what arrangement she has, but this is a high-level flight. I need to work." The attendant offered to move her seat. That should have been the end of it. Instead, the woman laughed, sharp and cold. "Move me," she said. "I'm the client. Move her. Put her somewhere else. Anywhere I don't have to see her." The word "her" landed heavier than it should have. I felt heat creep up my neck. I stared straight ahead, jaw tight, telling myself not to react. Don't give her the satisfaction. Don't let her turn you into the stereotype she's already decided you are. But she didn't stop. Every trip to the restroom came with an accidental bump to my seat. Every complaint about Wi-Fi somehow became my fault. "Maybe if other people weren't streaming nonsense," she said loudly, looking right at me, "those of us with real work could function." I wasn't streaming anything. My laptop was still in my bag. My phone screen was dark. None of that mattered. After about an hour, my patience cracked. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to stand up and walk to the galley. I asked the attendant quietly if she could please ask the woman to stop. My voice sounded smaller than I wanted. That hurt almost as much as the insults. The attendant apologized, said she'd done what she could, said we'd be landing soon enough. Sometimes, she explained gently, the best option was endurance. I nodded and went back to my seat, feeling that familiar mix of anger and shame. The kind that makes you question why existing takes so much effort. That's when I texted my dad. "Hey, are you busy?" He replied instantly. "Always busy, never for you. What's going on?" I hesitated, then typed, "It's happening again." There was a pause, then, "Where?" I told him. The flight, the woman, the comments, the way she looked at me like I was an intruder in my own seat. He asked her name. I didn't know it yet. Just described her. Loud, blonde, angry, with a nervous guy trailing behind her. Another pause, longer this time. Then my phone buzzed. "That's Claire Dalton," he wrote. "She's flying to pitch me tomorrow." My stomach dropped so fast it felt like turbulence. The woman who'd spent hours tearing me down without consequence was on this plane because she wanted something from my father. I stared at the screen, a strange mix of disbelief and bitter amusement settling in. I told him not to say anything. Please, I didn't want a scene. I didn't want to be the reason things exploded. I just wanted to go home. He didn't agree. "She's harassing my kid," he wrote, on my plane. Then, "Put your headphones on, turn the volume up." I asked what he meant. He didn't answer. 2 hours later, the announcement came. Not for landing where we were supposed to. A diversion. New destination. The cabin shifted instantly. Claire snapped upright, demanded answers, pressed the call button like she was sounding an alarm. The attendant explained calmly that the change had been requested by the aircraft's owner. That's when everything changed. Her anger evaporated, replaced by excitement. She smiled, smoothed her blazer, told her associate to be ready, convinced herself this was a test, a surprise meeting, a power move in her favor. The plane touched down in dry heat. The door opened. Light flooded the cabin. And there he was. My dad didn't rush. He didn't smile. He stepped onto the plane with the kind of calm that makes people straighten their backs without knowing why. Claire practically lunged forward, hand outstretched, introducing herself with a voice coated in charm. He walked right past her, didn't take her hand, didn't look at her, just walked down the aisle until he reached me. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded. He kissed my forehead, slung my bag over his shoulder, then turned around. Claire's face drained of color. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. "That's your daughter?" she asked, barely breathing. "Yes," he said. His voice had gone cold. "And from what I understand, you've met." She tried to explain, to apologize, to reframe it as a misunderstanding. He asked one question, simple, calm. "What exactly did you misunderstand?" She answered without realizing what she was admitting. "I didn't know she was your daughter." Silence filled the cabin. My dad nodded slowly. "So it was acceptable behavior," he said, "until you realized who she was to me." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He explained exactly what she'd done, exactly what it said about her, and exactly why people like her were the reason he built his company the way he did. Then he ended the deal, right there. One phone call, no theatrics. Her associate tried to distance himself, claimed he didn't agree with her. My dad shut that down too. Claire cried, begged, promised. None of it mattered. She was escorted off the plane, alone, heels sinking into the hot tarmac, watching the jet taxi away without her. As we took off, I looked out the window and felt something unexpected settle in my chest. Not victory, not revenge. Relief. Because here's the thing. People like her rely on silence, on discomfort, on the belief that their judgment goes unchecked. So I want to ask you something. What would you have done? Stayed quiet, spoken up, walked away, or ended it the way my dad did? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue, disagree, share your own story. Because these moments aren't rare, they're just rarely talked about.